Is "well burn that bridge when we get to it" correct? "Well burn that bridge when we get to it" is a comedic variation of "well cross that bridge when we get to it." "Well cross that bridge when we get to it" is the more common phrase. Burning bridges is a different saying, and in my experience building that bridge is right out. Besides, how do you get to a bridge that isn't built? The proper phrase is "well cross that bridge when we get to it." idioms.thefreedictionary.com week 27 LL cross that bridge when we comito it. You're both wrong. That phrase is an example of a metaphor, which is a mashup of two or more idioms or common phrases. In this case, it's likely a mix of "well build cross that bridge when we get to it" and "burning bridges." They are idioms that mean opposite things, and are done so for a comedic purpose. In this case, one about coming up with a solution to a problem, mashed together with one that explicitly discusses destroying said solution. "Well burn that bridge when we cross it," and then lead a gift horse to water and beat it in the mouth. It's what others have said. A mixture of "well cross that bridge when we get to it" and something about not burning your bridges typically when leaving a job, so you can go back if you need to. I have said, as you do, "well burn that bridge when we get to it" for a long time as an intentional messing up the metaphor. I was somewhat surprised when I first came across someone else use that phrase. I thought I was slightly unique. Oh well, I'm sorry, but are you both psychopaths? "Well cross that bridge when we get to it." You are both wrong. The original is "we will cross that bridge when we get to it," which means to worry about a problem when it arrives. "We will burn that bridge when we get to it" is a metaphor, or two maxims mixed together to make a new one. In this case, they've mixed into "burn a bridge," which means to ruin any chance of changing your mind or plans. I always say "well jump off that bridge when we get to it." It's just a mash-up of two different sayings, usually for comedic effect since they have different meanings. "Well cross that bridge when we get to it" usually means we will deal with that problem when we have to. And "burning bridges" usually means destroying relationships or options, so they can't be used. My other favorite is "does the Pope shit in the woods?" People around me have always said "well cross that bridge when we get to it." As a nihilist, one is correct. Cross only heard. I think burn started as satire. Both are correct based upon what you want to infer. "Let's nuke the bridge we torched 2,000 times before this time." "Well blast it all to hell Green Day, FOD. It's "well cross that bridge when we get to it." It's "well cross that bridge when we get to it." I've personally only ever heard "well cross the bridge once we get to it," and frankly, why would you need to build a bridge once you got to it? A bridge. If the bridge is already there, you shouldn't need to build it, right? Regardless, both imply the same idea of "well worry about the logistics of the task once it actually becomes mandatory to do it," so it really doesn't matter whichever you use. The only time I've heard about burning bridges is referencing possibly ruining a relationship, so some kind with another individual or persons, comparing a burning bridge which would no longer be usable to hampering the relationship beyond mending. I will from time to time say "well burn that bridge once we cross it" as a nonsensical phrase to mess with people and throw them for a loop, but it literally doesn't mean anything. "Well cross that bridge when we come to it." Burning bridges means destroying that avenue option for any future use.